Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, the High Guy Jacobs, and today we're taking a look at one last video that I forgot to do that I'm doing now in regards to the hero updates and things like that. And this video is going to be going out to the Gatherers and Zombie Hunter lines. If you haven't done them already, we're going to walk through them, and I'll give you the best pairings that I can for the Gatherers to give you a more balanced experience when farming for resources. As any trained experience, or as any experienced player will tell you, farming in this game is just as important as fighting. If you want to be able to fight, you have to be able to farm, and you have to be able to do it efficiently. Now, you can let the game choose for you, and it will give you the best that you have at the time, but it won't give you the best that you have overall. So, let's talk a little bit about what that means, and obviously some of the ways to look forward to doing this properly. But before I do, I have to make mention of one individual player. This player came to me as a hobbyist, simply asking to help out do some of my thumbnails for this series. They have been absolutely phenomenal with designing the thumbnails for this series on heroes, providing them for me, and in a timely manner, and man, do they ever look good. Way better than I could have ever done. So I want to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to this player, Elysia. I know that she's been around the game. You know, she's a fairly newer account, right? Only 189. But she reached out to me and simply asked if she could help me. And she has been providing some fantastic thumbnails. I wanted to shout her out before, but I totally forgot to, so I'm doing a special shout out just for her. She is currently in 556, but she's told me in other chats that she's been around to other alliances, not necessarily to shout out Ragnarok, because she's been in others, but currently she's in Norn in Ragnarok, and I want to say hi and thank you, and you're an all-star. Thanks a lot for just being you, know, reaching out and doing what you did. You absolutely didn't have to, and I'm in awe at your work, so you know, if it's a hobby, keep it up. If it's not, find a way to monetize it, because you're an all-star. Let's put that out there. All right, now on to the material and bread and butter of this one. We're going to talk first and foremost about zombie hunters. All right, now 3 of these zombie hunters we've already gone over in previous videos, so we're going to touch on them very, very quickly. You've got Jaden right here, and the reason why you're going to use him leading zombies, number 1, he's got the zombie hunting talent tree, so you're going to, finish this up as much as you can, use it to hunt zombies, because you're not going to use him to lead anywhere else, and you get things like resource packs and stuff like that when you go ahead and kill zombies, so doing it that way is the best. He's also got skills that do damage to zombies, heals when dealing damage to zombies, all that kind of stuff. So you want to kind of use him to focus here. He doesn't do anything else very well except zombies, so let him do zombies. Plus, if you do his talents, if you upgrade the zombie talent tree, it means that it'll cost him less to fight zombies, and he'll get bonus experience when he's fighting zombies. So he's one of your zombie hunters. And I will show you my zombie hunting lines as well. And show you how I use them when we go into the Gatherers as well, okay? So sit tight and wait for that. Before we dive any deeper, though, I am going to say feel free to click that like button, the subscribe button, and fill out the notification bell so you get any new drops. And comment down below as well with any of your favorite zombie hunting lines or gathering lines as well, okay? So we've got Jaden that we just spoke about. Again, use him for hunting. We've already gone over him in a previous video. Let's talk very quickly about Lee. Lee is another one that you're going to talent out, or at least I've talented out for zombie hunting, because you don't really use him to lead anywhere else. You might use him to co-lead in the field, but as a co-leader, they don't worry about the zombie tree. So you can stat him this way. He also does more damage to zombies and heals when, for zombies as well, same as what Jaden does. So use him for zombies is kind of what I do as well. But again, we've gone over him in a previous video. Same with what we have for Martin. Same series, I would stat him out for zombies, use him to hunt zombies, because you're not going to lead him lining anywhere else. And why would I use him? I mean, you don't necessarily need to, because it's not necessarily specific to him fighting zombies that he gets these skills or anything like that. But because he doesn't get used anywhere else, he kind of just gets relegated to zombie hunting. And again, doing out the zombie hunting talent tree allows you to have cheaper, reduces stamina cost by 10. So now it's 40 to do your zombies instead of 50, which saves on stamina. You get bonus resources when you're doing that. you know, easier to kill hive minds, easier to kill other zombies and things like that, so you'll use them there. The two that we do want to mention that we are going to spend a little bit of time going over, though, is Peggy. Peggy's one that you're going to get automatically. You obviously get to awaken her for free. She has one of the better awaken skills for a free hero because she is increasing your shelter construction by 10%. Granted, once you have shelter construction complete, it doesn't really matter, but until then, that's a huge buff, okay? So you get her awakened as fast as you can so you can have that passive 10% speed buff. But here's the thing. She's going to deal direct damage of 5,400. If it's to a zombie, it's going to be 8,400 instead. So she's doing a ton more damage to zombies. Increasing damage to zombies by 24% and reducing damage dealt by zombies by 15%. Increasing squad attack by 14.5% when a zombie is killed. 14.5% when a zombie is killed. Healed on squads for 2250. When attacking a zombie or hive mind, the stamina consumed is reduced by 5. Also grants a 10 bonus random resource pack for every zombie killed. So you pair that with talenting her out for the zombie tree, where you're getting an extra 10% here and extra resources here, and you can start to see how that stacks up. Now you're doing a zombie for only 50 versus for 35, pardon me, versus doing it for 50 using Peggy, and she provides bonus experience and things like that. Where is that bonus experience? Yeah, increases squad's HP gained from killing zombies by 18%. So you get some bonus experience when you have them statted for zombies as well. And then lastly, increases that construction speed. So you want to focus on Peggy. You get her for free. You awaken her for free. Use her for free. The next one we're going to talk about that works well for doing zombies is Captain Russell. Again, you get him for free. There's an event specific to get his shards to awaken him for free. And his event is specific to help open up your lookout tower as well, which is key to unlocking your battle center and things like that. Okay, so you need to make sure, you need to make sure that you're focusing on that Russell event when it comes around to get your Russell shards and to awaken them. And as we go through his skills, again, you'll see the reason why. So first and foremost, we're dealing 3,000 damage and healing 3,000 damage. So dealing 3,000 damage with a heal factor of 3,000, which isn't bad. Once we start dealing with zombies, we're doing an additional 30% damage to zombies. We're increasing the experience by the squad leader and the assistant by 35%. And then after healing zombies, after killing zombies, we're healing for a factor of 7,000. Once you have them awakened, it's going to take that critical aid and go from 4,500 to 7,000. So we're getting a nice little boost there. Most of his skills are specific to zombies, so this is why you're going to stat him for zombies. And then, just like everything else, you're getting stamina reduction, squad HP or experience, pardon me, that 18% plus the 35%, bonus resources, healing troops. It's a nice little factor to use them when going through zombies. So when I look at my zombie lines, for example, let's just go take a quick look here. I'm going to go March. I'm going to go Create Squad, and I'm going to hit this little button up here, okay? So this is going to give me, as you can see, 3 different sections. You've got a green section of 5 squads, a blue section of 5 squads, and a gray or a brown section of 5 squads, depending on how you want to use them. Okay? Now, I have these set up so that these are my farming lines, these are my zombie hunting lines, and these are my fighting lines. Okay? That way, it's very easy for me to kind of know where I'm working, very easy for me to kind of put things in their place very quickly, and it helps me in my own brain. But there's a lot of people who might do this differently. You might use blue for zombie or for fighting and brown for zombie hunting. That's totally possible too. Okay? But I've done it this way. Greens are farming, which we'll go over in a second. Blues are zombie hunting, and then the brown ones here are fighting. So if we look very quickly at my zombie hunting lines, okay, just like I've mentioned, we got Peggy up here. Let's actually go to them. Okay, let's actually go to my zombie hunting lines, and we'll look. So I've got Peggy here as my first one. Okay, I've got Peggy as my first one. Russell, those are the 2 that I've gone over. Martin, Lee, and Jaden. Lee and Jaden. So the 5 zombie hunters that I've talked about, and I'm currently pairing them with heroes that I want to level up. Because remember, they're all going to provide bonus experience to zombies that you kill. So I want to level up my gatherers. The higher the level of the gatherers, the higher their troop load, so the more that they can bring back from alliance resource nodes and things like that. So those are the ones that I'm pairing with them. If you have other heroes that you want to level up for free, you put them with your zombie hunters and you send them out in 5 squads, right? And you can send those 5 squads if you haven't already known. I'll do another video on zombies later on how to do them properly and mob them properly. But you can send out 5 squads and target the same zombie and get counted for all the zombies that way. But like I said, you got your 5 zombie hunters, which we've gone over: Peggy, Russell, Martin, Jaden, and Lee. And the 5 heroes that I'm simply marching with them to help boost their experience, right? To help level them to 60. That's it. Okay? But that's zombie hunting. Very easy, very straightforward, very, very simple. Use those 5. That's the only 5 you'll ever need for zombie hunting. You don't really have to do any other ones. And again, they're used specifically to hunt zombies, nowhere else. Okay? Next, let's look at gathering. Now, I've done this as well in my gathering lineups. And I've set this up so that our gathering lineups are very much the same. But let's first look through the gathering heroes, okay? Because in reality, we have currently more than we need in order to gather properly. But if what we want to do is make sure that we're farming efficiently, think about it this way. If you don't have the auto gatherers, what's more efficient? Having each march come back at a different time, which means that you have to be online more often, to send them back as soon as they come back, right? To have efficient farming. Because ideally, when those marches come back, you want to immediately send them out again. So is it smarter to have one, for example, farm in 1 hour, and one of them farm in 2 hours, and then the other 2 are somewhere in the middle? Or is it better for all 4 of your marches or all 5 of your marches to go farm and come back in 1 hour and 15, all 4 of them at the same time? Well, in my opinion, it's better for all of them to come back at the same time so that I can send them all to march, go away for 1 hour, come back, and they're all coming back at the same time so I can send them all out at the same time again. So what I've done is I've gone through the heroes, and I've developed a way that just on their base stats, obviously without you manipulating too much with armaments and things like that, because that will change things. Based on their base stats, you have pretty close to even farming along all of these lines. Okay? And we're going to go through these, and we're going to show them to you, and I'll show you how I have them set up as well so that you'll have a better idea. So the first hero we're going to talk about, we've already talked about before. The first 2 we've actually already talked about. That's Maxine and Sarah. Both of these are legendary gathering heroes that we did in the last overall video because they are the overall leaders. But these 2 heroes shine when it comes to gathering, and specifically when it comes to gathering, specifically because of their kits. If you look, for example, you've got our first one here where she's increasing squads, food and oil gathering speed by 36%, wood and steel by 24%, and increasing the squad load by 25%. So already one skill entirely devoted to gathering. Another skill devoted to gathering, Another skill devoted to gathering. Her awaken skill devoted to gathering. So you're only going to use her to gather. And if you look at her skills, she provides a better boost to food and oil. So you're going to use her in food and oil. Now, why am I going to say to use her in oil? Because Sarah is the one who covers food. Okay? This is kind of a, yes, they all cover different things, but put them in where they cover best. Because here's the thing. She does oil and food. Is that, yeah, she does oil and food. Sarah does food and wood. And then you get into the others, and the others are going to do a little bit differently, which we'll get into. So you can move them around. So if she does oil and food, she does food and wood, put her on oil, put her on food, because we have another wood character here. All right? So for oil, this is my lead hero. The second hero I'm going to put with her is Sia, down here. And that's simply because her skills benefit oil. Increases squad's oil gathering speed by 30%, and food and wood and steel by 20%. So again, I can put her on the other ones, but she does much better on oil. So we put her on oil with Maxine. Okay? She also increases squad load and squad capacity. So I can send more troops and then bring back more and then receive more more resources when we bring stuff back. And since oil is is much needed, it's probably one of the most needed resources in the game. Having her working on oil, bringing back additional resources and additional movement or gathering speed on oil means that you're going to be bringing back oil at a much better rate compared to what you would if you don't use her there. Okay? So my oil line is Maxine and Sia. And I'll even show that to you right here. If we go March, create squad, we go to my farming line. Oh, they're all in. I'll do it this way instead. Right? So my oil line, Maxine and Sia. My steel line, we've got Jeremy, and we've got, what's her name? Not Jeremy, sorry. Alex and Angela. We've got Alexander and Angela. So let's go look at Alexander and Angela. If we look at Alexander, he should be near the top because we've got some armaments on him for farming. What do we got here? Increases squad steel gathering speed by 30%. So like Sia, he can do the other ones, but we're going to put him on steel. He increases the squad load by 34% and the travel speed of engines by 15%. Makes him a little bit more movable and ability to escape in the field. Right? Now, Alexander is actually a funny case. He's one of those heroes you can put in a couple of different places because he does have a nice boost. He does have a nice buff. So increasing the infantry squad defense by 40, range squad attack by 40, rider squad HP by 40 of nearby allies, and recovering rage makes it a really interesting buff character. But we can talk about that in a different video as well when we talk about the arena. That's someone you want to kind of look at. But I use him for farming. I don't use him to fight in the field. I might use him in arena, but that's about it. Again, steel gathering is what the focus on. He increases steel and load, which is exactly what we need. And I pair him with Angela. Now, Angela is a blue hero. So why do I pair him with Angela? Angela doesn't do anything except provide a 20% speed gathering, or a gathering speed boost. Okay? And a squad capacity. Sure, we can bring back more. But it's this squad gathering speed that we want. It's an overall 20% flat speed. So now we're getting 30% from him and 20% from her. That's a 50% steel gathering speed. Right? Next, we're going to look at Jeremy. He, again, should be near the top. And we're going to use, oh, that's Alexander. We're going to use Jeremy for farming wood. Now, remember, she can do wood as well. She's also got the buff for wood, right? There's your additional wood and food. But we have her working on food. So he's going to do our wood. And it's a benefit because he likes to farm wood. He does everything at 20%. Wood goes up by an additional 10%, so there's your 30% for wood, 20% for everything else. Increasing the travel speed by 30%, the engine travel speed by 30%, the squad capacity by 8%, and a gathering speed by an additional 10%. So now we're technically doing 40% on that gathering speed for wood, right? So he's actually better at wood than everybody else. So you put him on wood. And to help him on wood, I've got him with Michelle. And Michelle is another blue character. We're bringing specifically because she does this. Increases wood gathering speed by 24%. Yes, you can put her on food and steel too if you want, but you put her on wood. She also provides a 40% squad load and an additional 10% resources. So you're going to put her on wood. Help her bring back wood. Jeremy and Michelle both bringing back wood. And then lastly, we're going to talk about food, which we have started a little bit with Sarah. She's already providing an extra, so she's providing 39% for food on a gathering speed. When gathering, here's an easy way for you to be able to gather in dangerous areas because you're getting an extra 60% travel speed when you leave. And the reduction of 15% of heavily wounded troops, so your troops don't necessarily go to the hospital. Increase of 40% squad load and engine squad travel speed by 30%. And then lastly, after increasing that, you get an additional, so we go from 39 to 48% and an additional 10% once you bring her back. So I have her working on food, and I have her paired with Chris. And Chris is another blue hero. Why do we have Chris? Because Chris provides a flat 20% gathering speed boost. Sorry, this isn't Chris, that's Angela. This is Chris. Chris provides a 20% gathering speed boost. She also provides a squad capacity. Right? So now I can send out more troops and gather a little bit faster. So, altogether, this means that your farming lines are going to look like this. Your farming lines are going to be food, Sarah and Chris. Wood, Jeremy and Angela. Nope, Jeremy and Michelle. Steel, Alexander and Angela. Oil, Maxine, and Sia. Don't worry about this one. This is just my garrison line. Don't worry about that. That's just there saved because I don't use it to fight in the field. I use it for garrison. But this becomes your gathering setup. And here's the thing. When I send these out, they all have approximately about the same time by the time they get back. Yes, I've got armaments on my 4 leading gatherers that are all gathering armaments to help them with their speeds. But already by their base stats, you're already getting about 50 to 60% on both, or on all of them. So they come back pretty close to about the same time. And that's, in my opinion, the best kind of focus that you want. That way you can farm efficiently, consistently, and not have to worry about kind of the back and forth of when, how long you have to stay away from the game or how often you have to be on the game. Not only that, but then you start to get these kind of numbers where on 240,000 oil, we're bringing back an additional 133,000. So more than 50% we're bringing back additional for free. Right? Here, for example, we're bringing back 32%, something like that, 30%. Right? A little bit more than that, like 35%. So you start to bring back additional resources, which all stacks up, right? So it's all about farming efficiently and doing that the best that you can. But that's it, guys. That covers all the gatherers, all the zombie hunters. We've gone through the leaders, the overalls, the range, the riders, the infantry. You name it, we've touched base on all the heroes. We haven't, except for, pardon me, foot and mouth, except for most of the elite heroes. But truth be told, most of the elites, most of the rares, and most of the commons you're not going to use ever. So you can do nothing with them and not feel bad. I'm not going to make a video on them anyway, so don't feel bad. But that covers everything else. So if you need anything else, don't forget, I'm here in game. Reach out to me. My inbox is open. I have no problem giving advice. That's what I'm here for. All right? If you haven't already liked the channel, go ahead and do that. Subscribe and follow. Share it with your friends. Share it with your alliance mates. We're really pushing close to that 2,000 subscribers. We're getting as close as we can. It's already at 1,850, and I'm so unbelievably shocked. If you are a rider or range main and you're looking for a new place to play, if you are a rally leader looking for a new adventure, reach out to me in GROP. We are always looking for some new talent and new players that want to come stick around. And we've always got positions in leadership and stuff like that for those who show and prove themselves worthy. But other than that, folks, thanks very much for tuning in. I love y'all. Love, peace, chicken grease. And until next time, stay lifted.